pull in late, the fluorescent lights are buzzing, the parking lot is empty, and for a second you get that feeling. The one that tells you to get back in the car. Pay at the pump. Don't go inside. Don't linger. Most people shake it off. They tell themselves it's nothing, just a long drive, just the dark. But what if it wasn't nothing? What if that gas station had a history? What if people had died on that land, and whatever they left behind never quite left? Because across the United States there are gas stations built on ground soaked in tragedy, on land that witnessed mass death, violent ends, and suffering so intense that visitors still report it today. Some of these stations are abandoned. Others are open right now, pumps running, lights on, serving customers who have no idea what they're standing on. Welcome to America's Haunted Atlas, where tonight we're pulling off the highway and into gas stations with pasts so disturbing you may never look at a late-night stop the same way again. Number 5. The Old Chevron Station, Jerome, Arizona. Perched along the winding mountain roads of Jerome, Arizona, sits a gas station that never quite shook its past. Jerome itself is frequently called one of the most haunted towns in America, and for good reason. Its violent mining history in the late 1800s and early 1900s left deep scars on the land. Men died here in large numbers, sometimes in accidents, sometimes far from anyone who could help them. The old Chevron station was built long after the mining boom faded, but according to local records and longtime residents, it stands on ground once tied to boarding houses and makeshift medical facilities where injured miners were brought. Many never walked out. What's made this location stand out over the years isn't random chaotic activity. It's the sense that whatever is here seems aware. Workers have described hearing their names whispered near the storage area when no one else was around. Tools fall from shelves with no one nearby to disturb them. Late shift employees have reported hearing heavy footsteps crossing the concrete outside, only to step out and find the lot completely empty. Security cameras have reportedly captured shadowy figures moving past the pumps after closing time. The smell of cigarette smoke, with no source anyone can find, has become almost routine. Jerome remains a tourist destination, and the property still stands. But locals still talk quietly about what happens there after dark, and some of them won't go near it alone. Number 4. The Marathon Station, Good Springs, Nevada. Just outside Las Vegas, in the small desert town of Good Springs, sits a Marathon gas station near one of the region's most infamous landmarks, the Pioneer Saloon. On the surface, it looks like any other pit stop off the highway, a place to fill the tank, grab a drink, and keep moving. But Good Springs has a long and violent history. Mining accidents claimed dozens of lives in the area. Gunfights and sudden brutal deaths were recorded well into the early 20th century. Visitors stopping for fuel late at night have described seeing a man standing at the edge of the lot, dressed in old-fashioned clothing, a wide-brimmed hat, suspenders, staring out toward the mountains. When approached, he simply vanishes. Inside the convenience store, employees have reported cold spots that persist even during the peak of Nevada summer. Radios cut to static when no signal interference can explain it. And more than a few workers have described that particular deeply uncomfortable sensation of being watched from just behind the coolers. What makes Good Springs different is its isolation. Out here, the desert swallows everything. After sunset, there is nothing but silence and open darkness in every direction. If something were standing out there just beyond the light, you might not know until it was already very close. The station is still open today. Most visitors never know what they may have been standing on the whole time. Number 3. The Old Gulf Station, Galveston, Texas. In 1900, the deadliest natural disaster in American history struck Galveston, Texas. A hurricane with no warning, no forecast, no evacuation. The death toll reached as high as 12,000 people. Bodies were found for weeks. Formal morgues overflowed within hours, and temporary facilities were improvised wherever space could be found, including including structures along roads that still exist today. An early Gulf station was built near one of those sites in the decades that followed, and according to local historians, the ground it stood on was used in the immediate aftermath of the storm to hold the dead. Workers at the station described knocking sounds from the storage room long after closing, rhythmic, persistent, impossible to trace. Visitors have reported seeing reflections in the windows that didn't match anyone standing nearby. A woman in period clothing has been seen near the restrooms on multiple occasions, always vanishing before anyone could get a closer look. And then there's the feeling that settles over the building after dark. Visitors describe it consistently, a heaviness in the air, a weight that isn't quite grief and isn't quite dread, but sits somewhere uncomfortable between the two, sometimes accompanied by the faint sound of crying from no identifiable direction. The original structure has changed hands and been renovated over the years, but what reportedly lingers there cannot be renovated away. Some things absorb into the land itself. Number 2. The gas station near the St. James Hotel, Cimarron, New Mexico. The St. James Hotel in Cimarron, New Mexico, is one of the most documented haunted locations in the entire American West. More than 24 killings were recorded within its walls during the frontier era. Outlaws, lawmen, gamblers, drifters, violence was woven into the fabric of that place. But the St. James isn't the only building on that block with a history. Just across the street, a small gas station has long served travelers passing through the rugged New Mexico landscape. And that land was part of the same violent frontier settlement. The property lines were different then. The boundaries between what happened there and what happened here were not always so clear. Employees have reported objects moving inside the store after closing. A tall figure dressed in dark clothing has been described appearing in reflections before vanishing the moment someone turns around. Security alarms have triggered in the night with no sign of entry. But the most commonly reported experience at this location is simpler than any of that, and somehow more disturbing. Late-night customers describe a sudden, overwhelming wave of dread while standing at the pump. Not a sound, not a sight. Just the absolute certainty that someone is standing directly behind them. Most people drive away quickly, and they don't look back. The station continues to operate today. Tourists come for the hotel. They walk right past. Number 1. The gas station near Gettysburg Battlefield, Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, July 1st through 3rd, 1863. 3 days of combat. Over 50,000 soldiers killed, wounded, or missing. The Battle of Gettysburg remains the bloodiest battle ever fought on American soil. You cannot walk anywhere in that town without walking on ground where men suffered and died. Today, modern businesses operate throughout Gettysburg, and several gas stations, including one situated along a road that once saw some of the most intense fighting of those 3 days. According to historical maps, the land beneath the station was near field hospitals where wounded soldiers were brought after the fighting. Many of them died there, not on the battlefield, but in the hours and days that followed, far from home, in makeshift medical tents on ground that is now paved over and ordinary. Visitors stopping here late at night have reported seeing figures near the edge of the property dressed in what appear to be Civil War-era uniforms, standing still, watching. Some report hearing distant cannon fire or muffled voices shouting in a town that is otherwise completely silent. Employees have described the automatic doors opening on their own with no one there to trigger the sensor. What makes Gettysburg different from every other location on this list is that the history is undeniable. It is documented. It is preserved. It is honored every single day. No one can claim the suffering didn't happen. And yet, some believe it hasn't fully faded. The gas station is open to the public. Most visitors never notice anything unusual, but some do. And once they do, they don't easily forget it. America's highways connect cities and deserts, mountains and coastlines. They pass through towns shaped by disaster, violence, and sudden loss. Gas stations are designed to be places of brief pause, small, forgettable stops between wherever you were and wherever you're going. But sometimes, those pauses happen on ground where history hasn't finished with us yet. Whether it's the desert silence of Nevada, the storm-swept coast of Texas, or the blood-soaked fields of Pennsylvania, these locations carry something with them. A weight, a memory that refuses to settle. So the next time you stop for fuel late at night and the parking lot feels just a little too quiet, ask yourself, would you spend one night here? Subscribe to America's Haunted Atlas for more documented haunted locations across the United States. Next episode, we travel deep into the Midwest, where one abandoned roadside stop has a history that refuses to stay buried. Stay curious, stay cautious, stay haunted.